I've created a condition report. Pretty standard one, standard template. I've deliberately chosen images here that all have some sort of a defect in them. Before I open up Claude or ChatGPT, I actually want to fill the element field out. So I'm just going to go one by one here. See, if we didn't do this, the AI actually looks at the whole image, and so we don't want it to look at the table and chairs here and say, oh, there's 6 steel chairs around this glass table. We actually want it to talk about something specific. So when it fills the condition description field, we want it to talk about the ceramic floor tiles. There we go. Let's choose that. Here we go. Let's speed this up. Now this is where it'll get really interesting. I think I'll type circled here. I want to see how it behaves, because these next images I've already pre-annotated them with the subject of the image. Let's go over to Claude, and we'll just open up our Beyond Condition account in Claude. So in your Beyond Condition account, you go to settings, and you will have a unique URL that you can open up Claude settings and then install Beyond Condition as a connector. So once that's done and you instruct it open Beyond Condition, it accesses your account and acts on your behalf. So it's found all of the reports that are in my account just now. We actually want the okay, alright, new. We do want that, yes. Yes, it was created today, correct. I want you to update the condition description field in each existing line item based on what the element field reads and what you can make out from the image. Now this is the part where it's a bit like I could have said that to my assistant. I'm going to go off and do something else that requires my time, something else that's more important, and whilst I'm doing that, here it is working. This assistant, who may not be very experienced, but they're having a good crack at it, is actually going to do maybe 60% of the work, 70% of the work. That number is going to keep going up and up. So for this time being, it's actually doing some of the donkey work that I don't want to spend time doing. As it's doing this, we can see the tools that Ben has installed as part of the way all of this has been plumbed together. It actually fetches the image and brings it into Claude and looks at it. There, it's done one of them. It's going to do the rest. If we just pop into back into our Beyond Condition account, we can see that it's done that. It's written to the field. Large format, yep, tiles. Looks pretty good to me. Minor surface soil invisible, consistent with general use. No cracking, lifting or debonded observed. Okay, right. That's probably been less than 10 minutes. Every image in the report is condition description based on the element field and what's visible in the photo. The annotated circle images were interpreted using the context. Compass directions, specific defect. Worth noting, 4 of the images circled have circled as an element name. That's fine. I know that. That's okay. I'll fix that. You may want to tidy those up manually. Yes, I will. Rather than just flick through all of the the fields, I'm just going to export it, because that's what we want to get to at the end of the day, is that actual editable document that you're going to take from there and incorporate into your current template or something like that. Yeah, that didn't take very long because there was only, what, 19 or 20 images in it. Let's just save it and open it up and inspect what it did. Right, the stone column located adjacent to arch window opening, significant spalling and material loss evident at capital bracket junction with render or face material delaminating and falling away to expose substrate. Moss biological growth. Oh, okay, yep, on the upper surfaces. Condition is poor, poses a risk. Yep, no problems with that one. So next, suspended sealant tile to internal space, significant water damage and collapse observed with large hole formed through the tile. It is doing the say what you see thing, which is fine. It's almost what you want. It's not coming to any kind of conclusion or trying to determine a cause or something like that. Oh, this is interesting. Actually use Yaugam Health Center. It's taking it from the file name. Staining areas missing displaced throughout tiles. Condition is poor, presents hygiene, slip trick risk, true, full replacement recommended. Marks visible on the understanding slab indicate water is tracking through or around this junction. Sealant inspection and reapplication recommended to prevent ongoing water ingress. That's not quite what was happening here, and that's not anything like what I would have written. These are concrete stains from the concrete repairs made to the slab edges. The same is true in this one, more concrete staining, where it has done a better job. This time it's used the word efflorescence, which is wrong, but water staining to the glazing frame, which is getting closer to the truth. Let's just have a closer look at that image. You see, we've got the staining. It's not water staining, they're concrete drip stains and splashes. Those will have to be made good. Concrete column base and slab junction at level 4 is taken from the annotation. Facing south at the first column, annotation indicates a circle defect at the base of the column where it meets the slab surface. A small hole or spall is visible, consistent with former fixing point of localized concrete loss. That's pretty close. That one's pretty close. Areas should be monitored and made good with appropriate epoxy. Let's just reflect for a minute. I didn't have to type any of that stuff out. It's not entirely correct either. But one of the things that's hardest about preparing these types of deliverables is like getting started and coming up with the language. There's nothing worse than the tyranny of a blank page. The metaphor that I like better, which is actually one that the filmmaker Jon Favreau came up with. He starts with a lump of clay and he starts to kind of shape it and mold it, and then through as time goes by, people start to recognize what it is. It's a bear's head or something like that. And this is what this is like. It's like you not only do you have the lump of clay, some of it has actually already been done, and then you get to kind of come along and make it how you want to make it. You've got something to work with. And there is a huge productivity gain in that as well. Where does all of this sit inside the responsible use of artificial intelligence in surveying practice? Output. Oh, this is what we want. Here we go. This is relevant to this video. Outputs, reliance, and assurance. AI system outputs may not always be fully predictable or fully explainable. And in any event, there is an inherent risk of error and or bias in AI systems due to the error. This could be due to variable training data or bias programming. So this goes on and on a bit, right? I feel as though this entire section is really summed up like this. I took that output and then I began to, word by word, own the entire output. So instead of starting with nothing, I started with something. But from there, I began to own it 100%. And you're changing words, you're changing language, you're changing the things that are wrong to the things that are right. And by the end, you sit back and you say, Yep, that is mine. I own that. And so that gets rid of this risk. And at the same time, I've benefited from the productivity gains that it brought me. The explainability element of it is really comes back to that idea that, well, I've gone through it, so it's not that I have to explain why AI wrote a certain thing. It's the fact that I'm only allowing something to be in it if I can explain it. And I'm explaining it because I'm really returning to first principles in terms of, like, that's my observation. Here were our hypotheses or deductions. Here's how we ruled each one out, and what's left is the probable conclusion. AI's got really no place in any of that. That's my professional judgment that's taking place there. So in terms of explainability, I think that's a risk that it becomes greater at volume. If that was a report with 20 images. What if you're doing something like an asset register that has 2,500 line items, and then I use the AI to do optical character recognition in all the specification plates for the serial number and model number? Beyond Condition does that. So that was interesting, and I hope you found it interesting. Let me know what you think.